Hey, what's going on, world? And welcome to your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros podcast. Hey,
Are we
listen,
on?
yes, we are
We
on,
we
Scotty
we're,
D.
we're recording. I didn't hit the little button. Oh,
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about that. It's
Mm,
it's
we don't do
it's
that anymore.
we're,
No.
we're we're
Oh,
past that. We're past that. It's documented.
okay, okay.
All right.
I
So
did it
if
last week.
yeah, all right. So if you're loving the show, do us a quick favor and hit that follow button. Matter of fact, don't punch Scotty D anybody. Please don't do it. Give us a like and make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, whether you're tuning in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or YouTube. And your support helps us keep bringing the heat each and every week. Also, follow us all on social media. Just click the link in the chat box or description box to keep up with the Sports Bros podcast. I go by the name of the HOC, Eddie Cool, and boy, his forehead is super shiny today because I got that oily skin from my mom. But guess what? The weather's nice outside. You can wear shorts. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Bunny rabbits hopping all across the yard and everything. That's a good sign. But I digress. Before I go any more of my incoherent rambling. Episode 300. Before I go any further, I have to
Of this
mention,
show,
yes, sir, 300.
300.
we've done this 300 times.
Yep,
Yeah.
300 of them things. It just seems
Really?
like, yeah, it just seems like we've done 10 of them, but we went from 1 to 300 real fast. With that being said,
Wow, our
introduce
ratings must be through the roof.
way through the roof. We gonna blow what's that show called? Around the Horn. We gonna blow them out the water. All right. With
We
that
must
be
be making lots of money.
we
I'm
get that.
sorry, Eddie. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyways, man, I try to do this thing by myself. It's not as fun. Not only do I have one, I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, fresh off of his 43rd birthday celebration, he is the one, the only, the almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? I'm just gonna say it right off my chest. This was one of the best birthdays I've had, just by the outpouring of support, love, and all the things, and doing what I do best, entertaining people. Either which way, it was an absolutely phenomenal. Weekend, and just all across the board. I just want to say thank you. And enough of that mushy. So we're here to talk about sports, and there is a lot
I do smell
to
stale booze.
talk. You stop it. Stop it. I was behaved. I've been behaved, and what had happened is that I'm not getting any younger, so I know I can't do things like I used to. So I definitely
Mm.
cut back a lot. Just to
Wow.
be yeah, just to be honest and fair. But I did have a great time, and I really just want to thank everybody. And Gemini season and is full effect. Let's talk about sports. Enough about me. I ain't got nothing really going on besides that. Yes, sir.
All right. With that being said, the other guy, he is the pride, Washington, Pennsylvania. Hey, you know what? When he get tired of your mess, he gonna turn on Sports Talk Radio because he not really trying to hear you anyway. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
Hi, 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 hi there. Them summer days, those summer days. Shout out. Did you know do you guys know who sings that song, by the way? I was just singing.
I don't want to give you the wrong answer. Who sings it?
Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh
Oh,
man.
yeah,
And
that's
Sly just passed away at age 82. So shout out to Sly. Sly and the Family Stone. Lots of sneaky good hits from back in the
Oh,
early days.
absolutely.
right. Oh, absolutely.
Dance to the music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
they say a lot of good songs, but yeah, I just wanted to. Now it seemed appropriate because we're just getting into the summertime, and Sly passed away. So shout out to Sly and the Family Stone, and we are at episode 300.
300.
300, if I'm not mistaken, is the perfect score for some silly sport. I can't quite place it, but anyway.
Wow.
Do you know what it is? I mean, I can't remember. It's
Bowling.
bowling. That's right. That's right, bowling. So this is our perfect game episode. Our Go for Turkey episode. Know what they call it? Be Live Go for Turkey.
No. That turkey is 3 strikes. A perfect game is 12 strikes.
Don't you go for turkey to get 300? Don't you have to go for
Well,
turkey?
you got to get as well. That's a start. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you have to have 9 strikes, and you have to go for turkey, and you get the 300, right?
That's not a thing.
So,
That's not.
no.
I
You
don't
go for
even know.
chicken. You go for chicken.
Well, just start the show.
Buzzard,
You know what I'm trying
monkey,
to-
I like
turtle.
chicken wings. I'm going for chicken wings. If I play bowling, if I play the bowling game, I'm going to go out for chicken wings too.
Bowling.
Yeah, if I play
game.
if I play the bowling game.
Could you, Eddie Cool, if you don't start the show?
All right, here we go. With that being
Like,
said, we done talked about bowling, we done talked about turkey, we done talked about chicken wings. Matter of fact, after this recording, I might just go get some doggone wings. You know what I'm saying?
all
With that
right,
being said, yeah,
I'm
Scotty D,
hungry.
yeah, Scotty D, the gut is growling. You're making me hungry. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it, the top of the order. Run that graphic, be live.
All right, let's get this thing started of the order.
Did you play the bowling game last night for your birthday?
No, I did not. No.
I thought Monday was bowling night.
No.
During the fall, winter, and spring, summer, I take it off. I'm too old. I need a break.
All right, I understand that. With that being said, so here we go. After 2 games, it's the NBA Finals. It's tied up at 1 apiece, and I think this next game is being played in Indiana, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
things are back in Indiana for 3.
Yeah, bring it back in Indiana for 3. So the question, fellas, after 2 games, how do y'all feel about y'all predictions about who y'all picked? Are we reconsidering or we all in? Scotty D, what say you?
Nothing's changed for me. I don't know. Nothing convinced. Okay, I picked the Thunder in 6 because I said that they would not give up the threes as easily as the Knicks did. I thought the Knicks had trouble defending the 3-point shot against Indiana. And then the Thunder went out and did an exact replica of what the Knicks did in game 1 and blew a late lead, and Indiana came charging back. Indiana has that don't quit in them in a big, big way with this team. And now they're going to be on their home court. I could see them winning. I could see them winning 2 at home, but I still don't think they're going to win. I still don't think they beat the Thunder. If they win 2 at home, that means this thing's going 7. So I'm going to stick with my pick. I still like the Thunder. I think they kind of got their act together, and they had a hard time shaking Indiana in game 2. They kept making a run, then it stretched the lead out to 20, then it would shrink down into about 8 or so, and Indiana just couldn't get it, couldn't pull off the magic again. I still like the Thunder to win the whole thing.
Okay, Eli, what say you?
Nothing has changed for me because you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna switch from OKC in 5 to OKC in 6. So Eddie Cool, I won't put you on the spot anymore. I'm imitating Shannon Sharp with that. But the only reason why is because Indiana does have that don't quit, and I think they will get. I think they'll get 1 game on their home turf. But clearly, in game 2, OKC said, "You know what? We let y'all stick around with us for game 1. We're not doing it in game 2. It was not happening because you would think, even though the series is tied 1-1, I'm gonna throw this out here. I didn't do the research, but I'm pretty sure that Indiana has had the lead in a game for 0.3 seconds.
I remember hearing something about that. But go ahead. Yeah,
they never had 0.3 of a second.
They
when the
never
ball
had the lead in game 1. I don't really know how the game started game 2, but they were down by something close to 20 in game 2. Yeah, and OKC was like, nah, y'all did too much. And what the Halliburton? Nah, none of that miracle stuff again. Halliburton has scored a game winner in each series. It's insane. Like his name is on the map. Unfortunately, OKC's just that much better. And they clearly showed it in game 2. They said, wait a minute. We let y'all stick around, and not this time. Not this time. But I think Indiana has enough gumption to take a game in Indianapolis. But I think OKC steals 1, regains home court advantage, and I think then they turn around and just win game 5 and 6. I think Indiana will win either 3 or 4. But I think that's the only, that's I think that's about all she wrote with Indiana. But hey, crazier things have happened. But
Yeah,
that's
like I said last week, I wouldn't be surprised if it went completely the other way of what I predicted, just because this Indiana team is so unpredictable.
so yeah, it's one of those things. They played the ultimate team game. There was another stat they threw out there that this is the first NBA Finals in history that a team won and nobody scored 20 points.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's how
Huh.
balanced. Yeah, that's how balanced they are. So and of course, and here's the thing: if Indiana, if the Pacers find a way to slow down SGA, that could really tip the scales. But he's scoring, like, I think he's averaging 35, 30. Like, and I was just reading some things right before went on the air. But y'all, Indiana needs to find a way to stop SGA, and it's hard to do when he's so like multifaceted. He
Yeah, he
was
goes to the rim, which I
yeah.
love that. I love that.
So
Yeah. Yeah. He
and people still with that stupid narrative that, oh, he's shooting a bunch of free throw shots. The greats took a lot of 3-point shots. Michael Jordan took a lot of 3-point shots. Kobe Bryant took a ton.
You mean free throw? You mean free throws?
Free throws. So what am I
Yeah,
saying?
you said 3-point shot, but I think you mean to say
free throws. That's
Yeah.
why.
yeah,
Yeah,
free
yeah, yeah.
throws. Mhm.
But yeah, the greats took a lot of free throw shots
Yeah, yeah.
because they went to the hole and they forced you to you're gonna have to play D against me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shoot myself out of the game. If my shot's not working, I'm going to the hole. And and so Indiana has to find a way. Or there is, like I say, it could still be OKC in 5, but I'm gonna say OKC in 6.
Yeah, I think it's still gonna be Oklahoma City Thunder, man, because I look at it like this. How much gas do the Pacers have left in the tank for the late game heroics? How, that can only get you but so far. And we're at the final destination, if you will, pun intended. Like, okay, well, how many more times can you do this? Which means in turn that Oklahoma City, they have to keep applying the pressure. SGA got to keep doing what he's doing. Oh, what's the other guy? Jalen Williams. He got to keep doing what he's doing as well too. And Chet Holmgren, up it up a notch, brother. Up it up a notch. You got Lou Gentz, also known as Lou Dort, playing pesky defense. And then you got Alex Caruso too. So as long as those parts can become a well-oiled machine and continue doing what they're doing, man, I'm saying OKC.
Do they still have Steven Adams?
No, we
They
answered
still
this
have
last week.
Westbrook?
No, we answered this last week. Westbrook is playing in I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to step nobody fingers about a pepper point. But yeah, as long as they keep those well-oiled machines going, that's what I'm picking. I'm picking the Thunder
They still have Durant.
6. Nope. Nope. He'll never come back. He'll never come back. And I say it once and I say it again. That 30 for 30 about that Oklahoma City team. Oh, I can't wait for it. It should be coming out tomorrow. But anyways.
I promise you they're working on it.
Oh, they are. They are. Oh my God, they are. They are. Man, they probably been working on things since 2 years ago. If not sooner. All right. So that's gonna wrap it up for NBA Finals talk. All right, Scotty D, the US Open. What you got us doing here, man, on this special night? So
Ooh, it's
last
going to
time,
be brutal. This one's going to be brutal. This is this is an Oakmont, which many are saying is the hardest golf course in the PGA / even in the world. Someone is saying this is the toughest golf course. This is kind of a US Open that could have a winning score that's over par. It could be there. The rough is so high just beyond the. I've been watching a little bit of the Golf Channel. I watch a guy just about 10 feet off the green take a golf ball and drop it at his feet, and you couldn't see it. It is down in the rough. So this is going to be a grinder. The US Open usually is, and this is going to be no different. I'll actually take a picture of my feet in the rough on Thursday. I'm going Thursday. I will be there. So I'll give you a firsthand account next week of what I witnessed at the US Open. But that's all. We're going to each pick a golf. We're going to do the same as we did for the last tournament and scratch Scotty Scheffler
You see how that worked for us? But go ahead.
Yeah, because we all picked a non-Scotty Scheffler one because I mean it's not fair for us to all want to pick Scotty Scheffler, and he is the favorite. DeChambeau is second favorite at plus 700. Rory McIlroy plus 1100. Those are the top three. But again, this golf course can cost you the tournament on one errant shot on one hole. Well, it could just take you down. You got to be careful out there. You got to hit the fairway. Hitting the fairway is a premium in this golf course, and you can't get sloppy around the greens. You got to stick the greens. So having said that, we're each going to pick actually two golfers, but we're going to do it around the horn style. Each of us can pick one. We'll just do it straight through two times. Eddie, you go first. You're the host. You pick. You get first pick of a non-Scotty Scheffler golfer in this tournament.
Spoiler alert, it ain't the big goof. No, but Roy
he's a very viable candidate.
Yeah, he is, man. I'm gonna have to say Rory McIlroy because despite his recent dips, he's still among the top. He's still among the top. So you can't ever count him out, man. And he has experience winning majors, and so you got to kind of go with Roy. And then he's already familiar with the course as well too. So it's kind of like knowing it like the back of your hand. So pick number one, Rory McIlroy.
I don't know how familiar he is with the course because he admitted that he just shot an 81 on that course. So during the practice round. So
hey, B-Live, it's unfamiliar. It's familiarity in a bad way.
Well, he's still trying to get familiar with his new driver, but I mean, I think he'll do that.
Yeah, I'm saying, and you're absolutely right, Eddie. You can't count on Roy McIlroy out. It's gonna be not necessarily against the grain because he is ranked number 3 in the world, but I see my man Xander Schauffele doing something. I feel I feel like hasn't made much noise, but I feel like just with the U.S. Open being as difficult as it is, I'm not going to pick a person like a DeChambeau because he seems to get erratic with his even though like he can drive the ball a ton, like you really concern yourself when you're not hitting greens, when you're not hitting the fairway, and especially with the U.S. Open, it will not be forgiving. So I'm gonna go with Xander Schauffele. That's gonna be on one of my 2 picks. And I'm hoping that I have a little bit better luck than I did at picking what was the one? The Masters? Was it the Masters that we
picked PGA Championship?
PGA, that's what it was.
Yep.
And I was just wrong. My guy didn't even make the cut.
Oof.
So Xander, make the cut at least, please.
Yeah.
Scotty D.
I'll take Patrick Cantlay.
Okay.
He's always slow and steady and right around the leaderboard. And it could be, like you said, just a guy who doesn't make mistakes, and I like his game, so I'm going to take Cantlay. Eddie, cool, you get another pick. Who you got?
Jon Rahm.
Jon Rahm.
Yeah.
Going with Liv.
Yeah, going good old Jon Rahm. Let's see what Jon Rahm can do, man. He's good when it comes to striking that ball real strong, and he's being consistent. So when you're a consistent golfer, what you cannot do is count out a consistent golfer because they'll get you. They'll get you when you expect. Oh, well, I think I got a break, and then later on the later rounds, and they come roaring up. You know how we like to watch them when they come roaring up the charts, slipping down a little bit, roaring up the board, and the next thing you know, they win. So, and
Rahm actually just faded in the last 6 or 7 holes at the PGA Championship. He was right there.
Yeah, let's John don't fade.
Actually, I think he actually didn't he slip into the lead there for like 10 minutes in the PGA Championship, like on the 11th or 12th hole
for a little bit,
for like 5 minutes. It didn't last.
Right, didn't just yeah. All right,
be live. What you got?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Victor Hovland.
Okay,
Victor Hovland. He's been hovering around there, Hovland. And I think he could make a splash, and so I want to see what Victor Hovland can bring to this golf tournament. So there you go, yes sir, Scotty D. Did I just steal it from you?
I was hoping that one of you two guys would pick Bryson DeChambeau, so I didn't have to, and I'm going to pick Bryson DeChambeau.
I told you I wouldn't go pick him.
told you why I wasn't going to pick him.
I know. And the thing is with him, he is the one guy who is so long that he can recover if he's long, if he fares away. He's so strong and he's crisp with his irons. And I'm trusting that he gets the driver right. And I will be sad on Sunday if he wins this thing, but he's going to be on my team. You guys want to pick one more round? Do you want to pick a third?
All right, so you
Let's
want
go
me
one more round here.
One more round? You want to sneak somebody in there or something?
Well,
sneak somebody in there. Who you got? Sneak somebody in there, Scotty, real quick.
Oh, me pick again?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll take Justin Thomas.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw in Colin Morikawa. Throw
Nice,
him
I
into
like
the
that.
mix.
He plays these U.S. Opens well. I like that pick.
Ludwig Auber.
I like that pick too, but I think it's only a matter of time for this guy gets one.
So he's so close. It's like ceiling head, and it's only a matter of time. See, Bob, ceiling head.
I keep thinking Oberg and Hovland. It's only a matter of time which one of these guys breaks through first. I always felt that way about Xander Schauffele, and then the dude went out and won 2 of them last summer. Yeah. So, okay. So, Eddie, just to recap, you've got Rory, John Rahm, and Ludwig Oberg. B-Lab has Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland, and Colin Morikawa. I have Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, and the big goof, Bryson DeChambeau. I can't believe I picked him. He's my least favorite, but he's really good. All right. That concludes this U.S. Open discussion. I will give you guys a little bit of a live recap from what I see from my experience there on Thursday next week on episode 301. 301. B-Live, has anybody ever bowled a 301?
Okay. See, here's the thing.
Is that possible? Can you go above and beyond?
The thing about it is that you can sort of because like golf, bowling also has a handicap. Of course, your PGA bowlers don't have any handicap, of course. But like when you talk like amateur style or whatnot, you do get a handicap. So you get like strokes. How does it work in golf? Where you have a certain handicap, so you gain strokes or lose strokes or something like that with your handicap?
Yeah, I don't even know how they calculate it.
Well, in bowling, to sort of have an even playing field, it's not in the professional ranks, but in when you're just doing your league play and whatnot, it's usually they take your average and then they take an average cap, and you take your average cap, you subtract your average, and that'll give you your handicap. In some leagues, they do a percentage, 90% of that number or 80% of that number to give a slight advantage to your better bowlers. But that handicap you get pins added to your final score for most leagues. So it is technically possible to bowl over a 300. But for any awards and stuff
I meant
that,
if somebody accidentally puts an extra pin down and then you knock all those up, you get an 11. Okay.
No, absolutely not.
That's what I meant.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
That's why I gave you the technical answer, because I'm sick of you.
You guys are wild. Let's go ahead and slide in a third topic before we go to our favorite portion of the show, the choice of the voices. Shout out to Scotty D for coming up with some of this stuff, because your boy be so busy. I don't be knowing what to do half the time. But anyways, so it goes a little something like this. All right. So we got mandatory mini camps coming up. I think they might be underway
today.
Now. Yeah,
they started today
now, as we speak. Yep. So
Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler. Did you hear about that?
Oh Lord,
Aaron Rodgers. He's here. He's in Pittsburgh.
About damn time. It's one of the things where it's like, we already know where you're going, but what are you doing here? All right. So that being said, mandatory mini camps begin today. All right, Tuesday, matter of fact. So the trio of Terry McLaurin, TJ Watt, and Trey Hendrickson, they all have contract disputes and negotiations right now. Some are unhappy. Some think they should deserve more. All right, with that being said, they're all holding out. Which player is the most crucial for the team's success to get back as quick as possible? With that being said, I'll go first. The most critical is TJ Watt, and I'll tell you why. Okay. He might be the most critical out of the three because of his presence on the Steelers defense. Because, if you got Watt on the defense, He always has to be accounted for. You know, he has an injury history, but when he's on, he's on. So what I'll say is I'll pick Watts because historically, you know, with his absence, it has immediate impacts on the game as far as like, okay, I'm the offense, I got a chance. Oh, TJ Watt ain't out there, so let's do what we do. But with like I'm saying, but with him being out there, he has to be accounted for. What say you, Be Live?
I have a simple answer and I got a detailed answer.
Okay.
If I was going to be a little
Give us a simple one.
If I was not, the reason why I want to do it this way is just because like I really do have two answers. I think detailed Trey Hendrickson because Cincinnati needs to have some type of defense to be successful.
Lord, you ain't lying about that one.
They have to have some type of defense, and he's the best guy on the defense. And if he's not on the field, then they really have nothing. That's my detailed answer. But my simple answer is Terry McLaurin, because I don't think the Steelers or the Bengals are going to be successful. The Commanders, the Redskins, no-name football team commander
Piglets.
They have every which way of being highly successful. They went to the NFC Championship game this previous year, and I think they've improved. Like I think they could legitimately threaten Philly and Detroit and make some noise this coming year. But
they get Debo,
yeah, then they got Debo Samuel.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like the chemistry has to be there for him to hold out. Terry McLaurin to hold out. Ah, man. But I think they'll resolve it. I think it is. You know, you just got to play hardball and make some moves and everything. They need to get him on the field ASAP to make some things happen.
Scotty D, what say you?
Yeah, I agree with you about, I don't agree that. I agree that they need Hendrickson bad in Cincinnati so that Burrow doesn't have to score 38 points a game. But I think Cincinnati is going to be in that division race and maybe even win that division this year. I'm expecting big things out of them. They got their offensive players happy. They got their receivers locked down. So if they protect Burrow, I think that's a team that has Super Bowl possibilities, but they do need the big stud on defense, like you said. But I think of the three, I think it's McLaurin because Washington. I mean, it's hard to really say we're going to carry our momentum into the next season, but if Washington is going to prove to not be a fluke, I think they need to rely more on McLaurin next year. And I know he's got a little chemistry going with Jaden Daniels and they need to build on what they did last year. So I think McLaurin has a chance to be his boy, his go-to, his security blanket, his big time guy, and having Debo on the other side will open him up a little bit more. So I think he's the most crucial for those teams to keep it going. Although, yeah, the case for Hendrickson providing some defense for Cincinnati. I don't know what Cincy's defense is otherwise like, and I think the Steelers are not going to compete. But I think I think they would need JJ Watt or TJ Watt if they are to compete. So
yeah,
all three are needed. I don't know that Watt gets back or gets what he wants from the Steelers because he has been injured and he's 31. So I don't know that he's going to get what he wants.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, man. Like I said,
it's a business.
It's a business. What my concern is injury, and you want to give you what? And like they say, the best ability is availability. Exactly. And that's not just in sports, but it's in life altogether. That wraps up the first half of the SportsBros podcast, episode number 300. With that being said, looking at my phone because I've yet to get a watch, fellas. Guess what time it is?
What's happening? What's going on? What time? Let me see.
Oh, I'm glad you
asked. It's time for B Live to bowl a 301. I want to see a 301.
Shut up.
I think he can do it. It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, old button, hit it. Choice of the voices coming back at you in 3 minutes right here. SportsBros Podcast. Run the graphic.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices. And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
Ever so lovely Miss Button. Speaking of Button, where's
for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. Scotty D, I damn near passed out, but that's either here nor there.
I'm falling behind on technology.
No, man, don't do that. Don't do that. When we ask y'all the question, you give us the answers. And look, I got them printed out. And we talk about it right here on the Sports Bros podcast, episode number 300. With that being said, Scotty D, what's on tap for today's choices of the voices?
Listen carefully. During the Chicago Bulls championship runs, they won 6 championships during those championship years. Who was Michael Jordan and the Bulls' toughest opponent? Who do you feel was their toughest? And I guess we can allow some of these other answers that were not quite on track, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
Eddie Cole, what did the people say?
All right, resident Dak Prescott hater, Trey Dizzle, Trey Dookie said it was probably all the ones he lost before he got Scottie Pippen and an all-star team.
Right, there you go.
He started his
before.
He started his career 1-11 and 5-15 in the playoffs as his team was swept twice in round one and one win in the other series. The Pistons manhandled them because they were the better team, and since players don't win team sports, he didn't win until said all-star team came along, especially Scottie Pippen. Detroit Pistons heard. Nah. Nah, man.
Yeah, I mean, maybe overall that was his toughest opponent, but like his championship teams weren't built yet.
No.
So had they built them,
Yeah,
they would.
I think those Bulls teams of '98 would have beat those Piston teams of the early '90s. I do.
They destroyed them. They would have destroyed them because they would have been evenly matched. But I think they would have destroyed them. They would have destroyed them. What y'all think? If y'all watching on Facebook Live and YouTube, drop something in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Who would win? The Pistons or '98 Jordan's Bulls? All right. Matty Icy said, "Wow, something I agree with Sir Duke." So he also said the Detroit Pistons. That's 2.
Yeah, and I know he was in on the Celtics early, who were another one of Jordan's tough opponents. As the Celtics dynasty was winding down, the Bulls had not yet launched. The Celtics gave the Bulls their walking papers in the playoffs, but again, that was pre-championship era. But either of those teams, you could say they were his toughest opponents. Were Jordan's toughest.
All right. Coming up next, we got Scott Donnelly. Let me stop. He says Scott Donnelly says to Trey Dizzle and Matty Ice, both of y'all wrong as hell. The question asks, who is his toughest opponent on his championship run? Then Martin Tracy said, no, you're wrong because every player is going for a championship. I'm gonna skip all that mess.
But he misspelled your, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he spelled. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Youre. You are Scotty D.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you are. He said,
but we did eventually. We worked through all that, and then Matty Ice actually did come up with an answer.
Yep. And what did he say?
He said the second of the Utah Jazz teams.
Yes, the second of the Utah Jazz teams. He said not possibly both Detroit and Boston on Georgia's first 6 years of the league. Yeah, so he says Utah. Yeah, so he says Utah. So shout out to Trey Dizzle and Matty Ice for hogging up the choices of the voices this week on the Sports Bros podcast. Guys, we really thank y'all for y'all participation and keep things going here. It's funny.
I thought people would like this topic. I thought we'd get a lot more participation on this topic.
Especially all these Jordan lovers. I'm just saying, like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Y'all must have got summer jobs or got to take your kids to summer camp or going on vacation, whatever. All right, with that being said, Scotty D, what say you? Michael Jordan's toughest opponents during any of his championship runs.
I got to go to the final year whenever the Bulls were trying to go for the three-peat and had to get past Indiana, and Indiana stretched them all the way out to 7 games.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was actually tied at 79 with 5 minutes to go. And I remember at the time there was almost like an uneasy feeling in the United Center that, oh my gosh, is this possible that we may not end up winning this game? And then the Bulls locked them down for the last 5 minutes of the game and only gave up another 4 points. And it was an 88-83 victory. But that was one of the few times that Jordan ever had to play a seventh game. I think maybe 2 early in his career, none in the finals, and then that last one in the Eastern Conference Finals where he actually had to go to a 7th game against Reggie Miller. That was a good team, man. That Indiana Pacers team was good with Smits and the Davis boys on that team. They had muscle. They could shoot. I think maybe Jalen Rose was on that team. I think
he
so.
might have been. Yeah, I think he was.
It was a really good team, and that was the case where maybe had that been in Indiana, they may have pulled that off. But Michael and Pippen and the boys said, we're winning this thing. What you got, B Live?
It was a toss up for me, but here's something that I have to discuss and see what had happened. While we look over this question just a little bit further, is that I had to do some research. Last week when you announced the question, I made a mistake. I misheard what you said, or at least that's what I thought. And 2 teams immediately came to my head. And then when I read, I was jumping on the Matty Ice and the Trey Dizzle bandwagon because I thought immediately of Boston Celtics with Larry Bird and the Detroit Pistons and basically just Jordan's mishaps before he got Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, and I'm going to allow myself the indignity of doing this, I put myself in the penalty box with Trey Dizzle and Matty Ice.
So all y'all look at y'all, all y'all in this chilling.
We just in here. Now here's the thing. After going back and re-listening to the show last week, Scotty D, you didn't mention the championship runs. You just said the toughest team that Jordan faced in the playoffs.
Now, okay, but I did word that on Facebook.
Yeah. No, so
that's why I wasn't giving them a lot of hell for that, but because I understand why that would be the choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you typed it out, which I give them that, but you typed it out and they got it wrong. But because of your misstep, because you got to make sure that you get things right, I had to correct it.
Well, put me in the penalty box then.
What the thing about it is, I did.
He did.
I absolutely did. Like, wait a minute. So I was like,
my first episode 300 marks my first penalty box. I think I'm doing pretty good.
In the sin bin he goes. Look at him.
Said, wait a daggone minute. Cause I went back to listen because I was like, because when you said it last week, immediately I thought about Boston and Detroit. That was too easy of an answer.
Yeah.
But then I was like, when you typed it out and I was putting it together, I was like, ooh, okay, let me actually do a little bit of research. This is a toss up. I'm throw out 2 teams. In the true spirit of the question that you actually typed out. The 98 Utah Jazz, 97 and 98, because they went to the NBA Finals both those years. But I mean, the 98 Jazz, they still had that one game where they didn't even score 60 points. So that was like, ugh, that was such an ugly game. But do you remember the I had it in my face and I lost it. 91-92 playoffs
against the
and
Knicks?
the quarterfinals against the Knicks that went to 7.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was the Knicks, Patrick Ewing, John Starks. I feel like they should have had a ring, and they just kept running into Jordan. They just kept running into. I believe I feel like they should have won a championship during that run. I felt like they were really that good, but they just kept running into Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And
You know, to add on your point there, we now are on the backside of the entire movie. After that happened, the second year that the Bulls repeated, when they went for their second one, I actually thought the Knicks were going to beat the Bulls that year in the finals. I was pretty sure of it. I felt really good about the Knicks overcoming them. They were tougher. They had scoring, and that was the series that Charles Smith had a chance under the basket to win the game, and he missed the layup like 3 times. Actually, it looked like even Pat. Do you remember what I'm talking about? The game where Charles Smith was under the, and I think in doing so, they lost home court and then lost in 6 to the Bulls. And I thought that Knicks team that year was going to win. In hindsight, you know, you see the Bulls and you're like, man, that was like one of the greatest teams of all time. But after winning one championship, I wasn't there yet. I thought that the Knicks were going to, I thought they were so good after beating or losing to the Bulls in 7 that first year, B-Live, that they were going to win and get it back the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, like you said, that Michael Jordan became Patrick Ewing's bugaboo. He couldn't get past him.
Oh my God!
And it was one, and like say, and even further that point was like the first year that Michael, like we retired. New York went to 7 games and lost to Houston. Like they were, it's like they were so the one year, like the first year that Michael Jeffrey Jordan wasn't in their face, they make it all the way to the very end, but miss about and so it's like there's always something. If it wasn't Jordan, it was Reggie Miller. It's like God, and Reggie Miller is still and of course the large one, and now Reggie Miller is tormenting them again. Like I say, reincarnated. Of course, he's literally on the sideline announcing. But what the hell, Burton?
Yeah.
Like, good Lord, how do you just see that? So devastating. It has to hurt to be a Knicks fan. It really does.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't know New York Knicks. So what could have been if it wasn't for and that's I think that's the reason why the GOAT conversation. Nobody ate when Michael Jordan was in his prime with Scottie Pippen. Nobody ate.
Charles Barkley, Sean Kemp, Eric Payton, Reggie Miller, John Starks.
Hall of Famers that got nothing because of Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Could do nothing.
Jeez. So
could do nothing.
There it is.
On the next episode of the SportsBros podcast, we dive deep into how one man stopped everybody from eating from a 6-year period of time. All right, my turn. I did some research, fellas. The 1991 finals, when they won their first championship against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, if you look back in hindsight, you're looking at the Lakers. You had Magic Johnson at the time, who was a 5-time champion, also a 3-time MVP, and he was still elite in 1991 doing this thing, right? So they were tough because the Lakers had that championship pedigree. And see, game one that the Bulls lost, that only game in the series that they lost, it tested Chicago's resolve. Like, okay, you got punched in the mouth by the Lakers. What you gonna do? I mean, you got to think about it. They had the Lakers
Sam Perkins hit a 3 at the buzzer. I remember it well.
Oh, good old flat footed.
There you go. Right before the buzzer.
Yep, right good old, and so I mean, Jordan, he had to overcome the pressure because he was facing one of the most storied franchises within the last 10 years, 10, 15, 20 years at that time. So it was like, okay, so are you going to rise to the occasion or are you going to flop? And I think like that first win, championship win over the Lakers might have been his toughest because Michael Jordan had become Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's what he had to do. And so at that time, some people thought the Lakers had peaked in 91, but the Bulls said, while they're peaking, we're going to be championship winning. So I would say the Los Angeles Lakers with that loaded team, including Magic Johnson there and crew, was Michael Jordan's toughest opponent. That first one, not like that first one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you make a good point because at that point, there was not just the pressure of beating Magic Johnson, but there was the pressure of becoming a champion, and I think it was his 7th year in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
He played 7 years and hadn't gotten over that hump yet. So there was that added pressure that this guy who's selling sneakers and on the cover of Sports Illustrated and on Wheaties boxes. He hasn't actually become a champion yet. So that did happen for him that year, much to my chagrin. I can tell you that much.
You want your Lakers to win again in the 90s.
Yeah, and you know what? Everybody made a big deal about Jordan sailing down the lane and changing the ball in his hand and shooting up in the leg. He didn't have to do that. That was
he did it.
There was nobody in front of him. Everyone's like, "Oh, look at that great play!" But come on,
spectacular play by Michael Jordan. Look at him. You know how Marvel. Spectacular play.
That was crap. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
he could have just finger rolled it, but no, he was switching hands.
Spectacular mold. That's all I remember. This Marv Albert, big head and all. Everybody got their answers in?
Oh yeah,
I'm in.
All right, with that being said, that does it for another edition of the Choices of the Voices. Thank you for your participation, everybody. Scotty D, what's on tap for the next week?
We'll make this one actually about any sport, but what player playing right now can you imagine becoming a head coach in his respective sport or manager? You can go any sport, baseball, football, hockey, basketball. Who do you see that's currently an active professional athlete that you see one day being the head of a team, like Jason Kidd taking control of the Knicks, that kind of thing? Right. By the way, did you hear the headline in New York was Kidd in play as far as becoming the next coach?
Boo.
Kidd in play. Very good play.
Boo.
I like it. I like the play on words. Anyway, that'll give us something to talk about next week. They're really cool.
Oh yeah. Yep. Jay Wright is not in the running.
He's not in the running. He's not interested.
He pulled his name and
he said he is staying retired. Oh yeah.
Both Van Gundy's very much in the running.
Yeah. The big one and the little one. I think it'd be cool. Hey man. NBA. Hey, NBA. Listen. Whatever you done to Mark Jackson, whatever Mark Jackson's done to y'all, kiss and make up. Because Mark Jackson would be perfect for the Knicks. And that's all I got to say about that.
Maybe Doris. Maybe they'll hire Doris.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. We all right on that. We all right on that. All right, and that about does it for this week's Choices of the Voices. Coming up next, be live. Grab that pepper grinder. It's time for a round of pepper. 6th day. Don't you dare go away. Right here, SportsBros Podcast. Run the graphic, player.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
1. All right, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get the hell up out of here. But before we go, a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really, here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order. All right. With that being said, I'll go first. On this day in history, back in 1996, the Stanley Cup final in Miami Arena. It involves the Florida Panthers and the Colorado Avalanche. I remember watching this game. Uwe Krupp's unassisted goal in triple overtime gives Colorado the 1-0 win over the Florida Panthers and a 4-game sweep, and they raise Lord Stanley's Cup. Just soon after moving from Quebec, formerly known as the Nordiques. I think that's called the Natives, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, I remember that. It's plain as day. Uwe Krupp, boom, slap shot, past Van Beesbrook, clean up the rats and go home as the Avalanche raise the cup. Over to you, Scotty D.
Don't look now, but guess who's playing good baseball? That's right, the Buccos. Oh. The Buccos, with a weekend sweep over the Philadelphia Phillies, have won 4 of 5. And in the month since Derek Shelton's been fired, they're over 500 with new manager Donnie Kelly. I think they're 14 and 13 or 15, 13, whatever they are. They're over 500 since Derek Shelton's been shown the door. Meanwhile, on June 9th, the Braves won their first game of the month of June. How about the Buccos, baby? Let's go. Let's go. Be live, over to you.
Woo.
Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad. Don't be mad at
them
Buccos. Don't be mad. Don't be mad that the Buccos are better than the Braves right now.
In the
month of June, they're better than the Braves.
But see, the thing about it is that you didn't have to. But you did anyway. Like
I
you
did.
could
I did.
you
Listen,
could
I
you
only
could have
found
just
that stat out earlier today.
just left it alone and let the Pirates be great. But no, you had to lump them in with how terrible my Braves have been. They've been 2 of 8 the last 10 games. But yes, they did finally win a game on my birthday. Thank you, Atlanta, for at least giving me a win on my birthday.
I don't like these Braves.
They're supposed to be good, aren't they? Aren't they supposed to be good?
They are.
So moving on. since we didn't talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it.
Talk about
Um
it.
Any
Preach.
cool was with the history of the Stanley Cup. I'm going with the current day Stanley Cup, where see what had happened was a lot of gloves and sticks being dropped in Game 3 of the Oilers versus the Florida Panthers. There was a lot of fighting,
Whole lot of fighting.
in the tune of 140 penalty minutes. 80,
Wow.
85 by the Oilers and 55 by the Florida Panthers. It was a lot of scrapping, and the Panthers beat the brakes off the Oilers 6-1. And that's usually what happens when the team's getting blown out. They say, you know what, screw it. And the Cardinals' sin at any given point in time is don't mess with a team's goalie.
Don't do it.
Don't run into the goalie, because that is Cardinal sin number one. You're going to get fisticuffs immediately.
Yeah.
But man, 140 penalty minutes combined between the Oilers and the Panthers. The Panthers are up 2-1.
That's unusual in Stanley Cup finals too. Usually teams are very reluctant, to let themselves get shorthanded.
Not this game.
No,
yeah, there was a lot of scrapping. And
let them scrap. All right, so here we go. On this day in history, I'm going backwards to go forwards. Actually, on this day in history, back in 1944, relief pitcher Joe Nuxhall, at 15 years, 316 days old, he debuts for the Cincinnati Reds, the youngest player in MLB history. But you know what? He becomes an all-star and a broadcaster. So shout out to Joe Nuxhall, getting a good job at 15 years old back in 1944. Over to you, Scotty D.
Say that last name again.
Nuxhall.
Nuxhall. Okay.
Yeah, it's like
D's Nuxhall.
Or Nuts if you buck saw.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the past 2 weeks, these 3 former NFL players have all been arrested. Kelvin Joseph, Pac-Man Jones, and Greg Hardy. And do you know what they have in common?
Damn, them two again. But go ahead, Scotty D. What do they have in common?
They were all former Cowboys.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. I was like,
so while I'm dishing it out to you and your teams, be live, I might as well take one on the chin. So Pac-Man Jones was arrested for assaulting an officer in public in talks. Greg Hardy surprisingly had a physical altercation with his girlfriend, because, typically when you throw your girlfriend on a bed of guns, this was the kind of thing you couldn't see this kind of thing coming. And then Kelvin Joseph, sadly, was arrested for the DWI, where he ran into a motorcycle driver that was killed. So those 3 former Cowboys, bad news. The good news is maybe it's, Cowboys used to get arrested and they used to win Super Bowls. So maybe that's a sign of good things to come.
Yeah.
No, you're right. We need current players to get arrested. We need CD to go out there and get arrested or something.
If it's of any consolation, Greg Hardy also played for the Panthers.
He did.
It's like, oh, Lord.
You never had Pac-Man, did you?
No.
He bounced around a little bit.
But no, we didn't have him. But y'all definitely took Greg Hardy after the whole the throwing the girlfriend on the guns. We were like, nah, you done playing.
Yeah. And then he went to the UFC, and when he started fighting other men, he was going to sleep.
Yeah, it was a bad situation. Oh man. But I'm gonna try to bring some good news, and this I really want to do this. I really want to go to this game.
Go.
because it has been announced on October 30th, which is a Thursday, that the Lincoln Financial Field is to host Michael Vick's Norfolk State Spartans versus Deshaun Jackson's Delaware State Hornets. They listened to the people. The Link is holding this game. I don't even like the Eagles, but to see an HBCU clash it at the Link, the publicity that'll go behind it, and then hopefully to hear some HBCU bands. I'm really contemplating it, like just the camaraderie behind everything. If you've never been to an HBCU football game, it is next level. Like it really is. I don't know how good their bands are, so I mean, but I've been to.
They're good.
That's it.
Yeah,
they're good.
I've been to a South Carolina State game, and oh my God, when I tell you, drumline don't even do it justice how people be rocking in the stands. It is absolutely phenomenal, and then just to see the football product itself, Michael Vick versus Deshaun Jackson, and that sort of segues from when your choices question about current players that end up going to end up being a coach. These are two of the greats that are now coaching and contributing to HBCUs, and I am here for it. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Can't forget about Eddie George, who is the head football coach right down the road at Bowling Green State University. All right. Third and final pepper point. On this day in history, back in the year 2000, cue the graphics and the fireworks and the computer stuff, right? Stanley Cup Final, Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas. The New Jersey Devils defeat the Dallas Stars 2-1 in double overtime for a 4-2 series victory, and they raise another Stanley Cup, and I think that was the second one dating back to the one they raised in 1995. So, yeah, hockey is that time of the year. It gets warm outside, and it gets hotter on the ice. Over to you, Scotty D.
This past Saturday, at the UFC pay-per-view, Marab Davlashvili. I think I said it right.
One more time.
Marab Davlashvili. I think I got it. He tapped out the Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley in the main event. He was clearly the better fighter, and that was no question. He tapped him. But something more significant happened in the fight just before that, and that was in the women's bantamweight championship, where Juliana Pena got dominated by Kayla Harrison. The reason that is so significant is because guess who was sitting at cage side and decided to come out of retirement? None other than the Lioness, Amanda Nunes, who had just got inducted, just announced to be a UFC Hall of Famer back in April. She got into the cage and they stared each other down. And I got goosebumps because this was a fight that they talked about happening a few years ago. And then Juliana Pena upset Nunes and kind of derailed that. But now, after Nunes said she was done fighting and retired, she wasn't motivated anymore, this has motivated her, and this could be a women's fight for the ages. Currently, Harrison has opened as the odds-on favorite, and I think it was minus 150. But nonetheless, I would love to see these two get in the cage. I hope this comes true. Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison. Something to keep our eye out for down the road for the UFC. Be Live, take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the foolishness.
Oh, yeah. So you remember where the second part where I said they listened to the people and they're going to have this game at the Link and everything, and kudos for them listening to the people. This is an instance where I hope like that you didn't listen to the people. Because remember I mentioned last week about how or did I was it last week or basically I was saying I may have mentioned in a chat where the people are up in an uproar because they didn't like put a big design on the basketball floor of the NBA Finals. Well, and people got in an uproar or whatnot. Well, ESPN heard the people, and I think they need to sit this one out.
They took a crack at it.
Yeah, while they've got all of these wonderful cameras showing this beautiful game in 8K, 4K, and all of these all these high resolutions, Ultra HD, and all this stuff. they tried to put a digital Larry O'Brien trophy on the floor, but it literally looks like it's 720p.
Ooh.
It looks so low def, like it looks almost standard definition.
Ooh.
That's how like it was like it looks pixelated. Like all this technology that we got, it was not at all. Like, and the thing about this, I saw the story and I saw the story and I looked up and I looked at the game. I'm like, oh no, they didn't. Because of course, some angles they have the trophy, and then some angles they don't. And I'm just like, no, they didn't. Did they really? I could do a better production job, as you can see all the stuff that I got going on. I got the scrolling text at the bottom. I'm clicking this and clicking that and doing all this. Come on, ESPN, hire me. I could do you better than what this is the NBA Finals. If you ain't gonna put it on the floor, just come on, bruh. Why?
Just don't do it.
It wasn't good. It was not good.
It was like I was like, wow. Come on, do better.
And you see them crossing the doggone half court line. It's all picking. Just put the trophy back on the court. Paint it back on there. Just do that. Just please. Can you? But could you? Would you?
ESPN dropping the ball once again. Like, geez, how many more balls can they drop? I mean, they dropped the ball with MLB. Like MLB's pissed. Like they don't cover half the other stuff. They barely cover WNBA. And like it's
cover bowling.
Fox does a great job of covering
bowling on air.
I'm good. Keep bowling on Fox. I'm perfectly
got rid of Around the Horn.
Yeah, I got rid of Around the Horn. Yeah, we
I didn't. What did they even put in place of that? Because I've not watched ESPN in so long. It's ridiculous.
I don't know, but did you hear Stephen A. ran what's her name off the air?
Oh,
Michelle Beadle. Did you hear that one?
I saw a little
Michelle
bit
Beadle
of it.
had a podcast. I don't know what channel on one of the XM radio or whatever, and they evidently she had an afternoon time slot, and it was announced that Stephen A. Smith was going to be taking over that time slot. Only she didn't. Nobody from the station ever told her. So she went on the air and voiced her issue, how unhappy she was that's how she found out. And then they just went ahead and fired her. So she's gone effective immediately. Michelle Beadle, and she already doesn't like Stephen A. because some stuff that happened years ago at ESPN. So.
Well, hell, Stephen A. He already has a YouTube podcast.
Yeah, he's all over. This one actually, I think is gonna. I feel like he's doing a non-sports podcast coming up.
Oh Lord, you didn't get to hear him rant about politics now.
Yeah, politics and entertainment or something. I don't know.
Because people now he's like because he's actually entertaining this whole like people want him to be the president. I'm like, yo, please somebody pop that man's ego, do something because Stephen A. I mean, you cool. But you're literally doing the most right now. I'm gonna need you to come back down to earth. And do not, I said this again, look, put the camera right here on me, like he does, put the camera on me. Do not touch inside the NBA. Don't touch it. Don't go near it.
You better not be in that room with a red light on. I know that much.
Don't even, I don't want you to touch none of it. I promise you.
Speaking of inside the NBA and Shaq, you want a good read? Go read Shaq's response of calling BS on Wilt Chamberlain's biggest record, 20,000. Go check that out. Did you see it already? Be live. It's a good read.
Somebody send me a link. Send me a link. I get shit now.
Yeah.
This was some bull.
We might have to edit this out, but he said, "Ain't no man." 7 times a day. That's what.
Yeah, ain't no man doing that 7 times a day. Come on now, stop it. All right. With that being said, thank you for watching and listening to another episode of the SportsBros podcast.
300.
We up 300. Rate, review, subscribe, do the damn thing, and in closing, do something nice for yourself, and if you can, do something nice for someone else. I greatly appreciate it. Now, more than ever, be a blessing, not a burden. This is your favorite sports podcast. 300 episodes in running. The Sports Bros Podcast. Be Live, take us home. Ah.
Yes, sir.
In the summer.
How they throw those threes up when they make a 3-pointer?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Sky. Yeah, there you go. The trees and the whole.
300, and she got to shoot yourself in the arm, and
Yeah. Poke an eyeball out, put your thumb up your nose, and all that fun stuff. Hey, bye. We see y'all next week. Y'all take care.
woo, 300, baby. I love
Y'all.
it.